going on, everybody? It's it's your boy Adam coming at you from Houston, Texas, and yeah, it's been a busy week. And it's probably been, I don't even know the last time I put a video up, so I'm just doing this is just a quick update just to reinforce the fact that I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going to disappear, and I'm going to continue putting videos on this channel. But over the last week or two, I've been busy trying to do some other things that I was not able to do while I was homeless, just for the simple fact that it was hard to get organized and hard to get my digital stuff organized. And so there were a lot of things that were just kind of set aside during the 4 months that I was going through that. And over the last week, the week or two it's been since I got down here to Texas, that's what I've mostly been focused on. Putting in job applications for, a job that I can either walk to or ride a bicycle to here from my friend's house. Getting started on these freelance jobs that I've picked up. Let's see, what else? And I'm just mostly, I would say last week, I've been tracking my time because I'm just curious as to where it all goes. And last week, most of my time was spent just organizing things. I filled a minivan with as much stuff as I could fit from what was being stored for me down in Pittsburgh and brought it with me here. And so I've been going through that stuff, organizing digital stuff, backing up files and cleaning off and organizing computers, and just lots of tedious things that I generally don't want to do, but have to be done. And so I'm, taking breaks and just kind of going through the motions of putting some things back together that were neglected for a long time. One example being I have an antique desk and it's got a bunch of drawers on it. And when I left the apartment that I was living in, all of my important paperwork and files and things, I had to narrow down what I wanted to keep and what was going to get thrown away. And all of the stuff that I decided to keep was put in these drawers on this desk. And now I have to go through all of those drawers and sort it out, and put it in. I just got a file box yesterday with some hanging file folders. And I've got to go through these desk drawers and straighten this mess out and put all these papers sorted out as to what to keep, what to get rid of, and anything that I'm going to keep has to go in a folder and just be, organized and easy to find. And, I've pretty much abandoned paper. I try not to keep, I had a filing cabinet in my old office when I got arrested. And I had piles of papers beyond that needed to be sorted out. But it got to the point where over time I've gotten my number of papers that I need to keep down to where it fit in one file cabinet drawer on a standard size, small filing cabinet. And now I'm trying to get it down to where it all fits in a file box, a metal box that, holds the hanging file folders. And it just, I don't want to have that much paperwork. And, the way things are these days digitally, I really don't need to keep this ridiculous level of paperwork anymore. And so I'm just trying to whittle that down, organize that. Went through all my clothing that I had when I got here. I have a lot of different big, giant army duffel bags and rucksacks and things like that, just from my camping days. And in the frantic scramble to move out of that apartment that I was in, I had to just shove all of my clothing into these big rucksacks and duffel bags. And so over the last week, I went through all of the clothing, tried on every single shirt, sorted them all out, did the best I could with the closet space I have where I am right now, and got that pretty much squared away. I found a straggling load of laundry that I mistakenly left in the dryer stumbled upon that today. And so when that stuff is folded and put away, which it's almost done as it stands right now, while this video is uploading, I'll probably finish that. But going through all these clothes took 2-3 days of not constant work, but an hour here or half hour there, that kind of stuff. And so I've got a lot of stuff to just sort and clean out and organize and try to make sense of, because things just became pure chaos for a period of time. Three different times things were just completely flipped upside down and life became chaotic. And so I'm just trying to take care of these things, and it hasn't really left a lot of time to do a video channel. Let's see, between searching for a job, working on some freelance jobs, doing all this organizing, just trying to put some stability back together, it's eaten up all the time of the last week, going on 2 weeks now. And so there really isn't much to talk about outside of that. I really haven't been doing anything else besides that. Going for some walks in the neighborhood, getting out of the house a little bit here and there, but it really was just the first 4 days that I got after I arrived in Texas. I would say Saturday, Sunday, I would say for 4 straight days I did as close to absolutely nothing as I could get away with. And I don't know exactly how many days I've been here right now, but it definitely, I get a little bit more energy each day, and I'm getting more done each day as time moves forward. And I'm definitely crossing some things off of my list that I've been wanting to cross off since the day I got home from prison. And so it feels good in that sense, but a lot of it is overwhelming, and there's a lot of stuff on this list that I need to get done. But just getting more and more organized each day and just chipping away at the things that need to be done are helping with all of the, whatever anxiety I have about just the overwhelming amount of stuff that I need to do. And all that kind of stuff going through my head is the easiest way to deal with it and to move past it is to just pick something up and do it. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as I'm moving the ball forward on all these simultaneous things. It feels good to just do that. And so one of the things I'm going to start putting together is what to do with this channel moving forward. And, but I have my own ideas, but I would like to know, what are your ideas? What are some of the things you would like to see next on the channel? What are some of the things you want to talk about? What are some of the things you want to hear me talk about? I know there are certain things that you've been asking me about for quite a while in terms of just the what happened, why I went to prison in more detail than I've talked about so far, the experiences of being in that situation and going through that experience. I have a pretty detailed journal that I kept through the whole experience and even beyond that. I could go through and, I wouldn't bore you with all of the details of, 20 something months of what I went through on a day-to-day basis, but I can certainly pick that up and just kind of skim through it and talk about what led up to this, along with what happened after the fact and the whole process. And, my best friend, we were just talking, over the last few days, and he just kind of laughed, in a friendly way and just said, man, you learned a lot about the prison system and about this whole court system and how everything works while you were going through this. And yeah, that's definitely true. I knew absolutely nothing about how any of this stuff works prior to this experience. And, I'm by no means an expert, but I have a whole different view of these things, and I understand things a little bit more. You know, everybody's talking about Puff Diddy right now. Puff Diddley, you know, getting in trouble for all his dirty dealings, and, you know, whether he's gonna, you know, off himself just like Jeffrey Epstein didn't do. And he's, you know, in that same crooked ass Brooklyn / Manhattan federal jail system that is so corrupt, it is absolutely unbelievable. The horror of the place that dude is in right now. And, you know, many people are going to say he deserves it. And I'm not going to disagree with that. But all I'm going to say is that place that he's in is probably one of the worst places you could possibly find yourself in terms of the situation. And there's absolutely no oversight, or, you know, if Puff Daddy doesn't kill himself just like Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, it will not surprise me in the least, because that place is corrupt and out of control to the levels of your wildest imagination could not imagine the things that go on in that place and how bad that place is, and how corrupt and crooked and understaffed and just chaotic and out of control. You can Google Brooklyn MDC and probably find 1,000 stories about the place and news articles about all the corruption and all the crazy things that happen at that place without me having to tell you. And that experience for me was, let's see, I was there from just before Thanksgiving I was there for about a month. And I saw enough. In 1 month of me being in that place. That place was, man, that place was beyond. There are federal judges right now in the Manhattan, in that federal court district, that won't send the defendants to that jail because of how inhumane and how dirty and how just completely disgusting and dangerous the place is. There are judges that won't send people there because they feel like that place violates the constitutional amendment against cruel and unusual punishment. So if that just gives you an idea of what that place is like. And that was just 1 month of my journey spent in that place. So I definitely have a lot to talk about in that respect. But when it gets into, I have a lot of work to do to my camera equipment and things of that nature before I can start going down the camera and photography channel. And I just have a lot of things taking priority over that right now. And a lot of it's just the standard getting on your feet after going through a crisis kind of stuff. And so I'm just kicking it. I'm, trying to do the best I can to move this ball forward on lots of different things moving simultaneously. It's actually a little more, I don't know how to explain it. Like, being homeless sucked, and this situation I'm in right now is way, way better. Peace of mind, being in Texas, the weather's really nice. It's hot, but not ridiculously hot right now. I guess we're into fall now, or pretty much into fall. But it still feels like summer to me, and it feels great. It's not overwhelming, the temperature and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to like it here overall. I don't have anything that I dislike about this place. I'm tucked away in a little bit of a cul-de-sac right now, and it's hard to get if you don't have a vehicle, which, right now I don't even have a bicycle that's functional. That's part of what I have to get done over the next few weeks. And so there's not a lot of anything that I can do. I'm applying to lots of different jobs that are within a walking distance from here, but I'm considering 5 miles to be a walking distance. So, and there really isn't much. You have to go at least 3 miles to get to a main road from where I'm at right now. And it's a bit of a walk, and it's not a big deal. It's flat. It's not, it's not a big deal at all. We go out and go on 5-mile walks on a somewhat regular basis just here at the, where I'm living right now. And, it's not too hot. It's nice. It's a nice thing to do. But, it's just, there's a big giant list in front of me of things I have to get done. And that list is a lot bigger than the list I had in front of me when I was homeless. Just, because I cut a lot of things off and focused on what was right in front of me at the time. And for some reason, when I was in that homeless routine, there really was a period of time or it really didn't take long to get into this established routine of making sure I do a video every day, making sure that but it really boiled down to I was doing the video, I was looking for a job, and those were the two main things that consumed my day. And just doing things toward finding a job, whether it be working on my portfolio or just those kinds of things. And it was pretty cut and dry. And now that I'm here in Texas, and I have more things to take care of, I have more space to work, I have a lot of good things going for me, and a lot more of my property is in my possession now. There's definitely more things that I have to get done. And so there's been some feelings of being overwhelmed here and there as I wake up in the morning, just feeling like, oh, I've got so much to get done. I don't know how I'm going to get this done. And, there's a little bit of pressure on me from different directions to get things done. But at the end of the day, I can look over the last couple of weeks and see how much I've actually accomplished, and it's a lot. It's just in different areas than what I've been able to do for the last 4 months before I got to Texas. My focus has been in places that were neglected for 4 straight months and trying to play catch up. And in some cases, going through some of these things and just taking care of things that have been more than 2 years since I've been able to do anything about or take care of. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not going to make this video any more than 20 minutes today. I'm just going to hit the upload button. I'm not going to do any fancy thumbnails. I'm going to look up how many days it's been since I've been in Texas, and I'm just going to go from there. But I just wanted to throw a quick update out there. Throw it out there that, I'm going to go to the YouTube comments on this video, the last few videos, and just dig for questions and things that people want to hear me talk about. The sky's the limit. I really don't care if you got something that you want me to get into on this channel. I'm definitely down to let the viewers have a say in the direction things go from here. So, but there really isn't a whole lot to document. It's really just been me sitting in front of a computer, sitting at my friend's house. Do you really want to watch a video of me sorting and folding clothes? Do you want to watch a video of me updating my accounting software to enter in every transaction I made with a EBT card just to see where all that money went and what I was spending it on while I was homeless? It definitely gave me some insight into the weight change that I went through, because it showed me transaction by transaction how badly I was eating for 4 straight months on that EBT card, and it really showed me there were 3 specific meals that I ate over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's crazy the number of times that an 8-inch sub from the grocery store, a chicken salad sandwich, and an orange juice from 7-Eleven, and a 12-inch pizza, because it was the only hot meal you could get with an EBT card in Jamestown. Those 3 meals showed up on this transaction list so many times. It was unbelievable to to enter in the same transaction over and over and over again into my accounting software, just as a curiosity of, what was I spending my money on? Because I wasn't tracking it for 4 straight months. I was just living off the seat of my pants. And so I had a Ziploc bag full of receipts that every day I would come back to the homeless shelter and just throw out any receipts I had into a bag. And, like I said, most of the money that I was spending, if I was spending money to eat on any particular day, it was the EBT card. But there were a lot of transactions over a span of 4 months, just, one meal, but they were the same 3 meals over and over and over again. It was just blew my mind. And I finally have a scale now, and I've been weighing myself for the last 3 days, and I gained about 20 pounds. From the day I got out of prison to the day I became homeless, my weight was pretty consistent, and it was right at about 200 pounds. And just over the last 3 days, I've been weighing in at about 218, 219, 220, but today I was 218. So there was a 20, and I could feel it, and I actually feel like while I was at the homeless shelter at some point, I was 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 pounds heavier than I am right now, at some point, because I was starting to feel crappy. But it was just the diet. I was walking so many miles every week. I was walking anywhere from 25 to 50 miles a week, but I was still gaining weight because my body adjusted to the fact that I was walking so much. I was eating crappy food, and it would just, the amount of food and the crappiness of the food, and my body just got into a rhythm where I was still eating more calories than I was burning from the walking. And that didn't happen right away, but after about a month is when I started to notice the shift. And so now that I'm in Texas, the eating has calmed down a bit. And, I'm, it's still kind of up and down, but I feel like I've lost a few pounds since I got here. And now I have a scale. I can, a cheap $20 scale from Target. But it'll do the job, and it'll allow me to weigh myself every single day, which is what I normally like to do. And that will help me get back down to the 200 pounds I was at when I got out of prison, and probably beyond that. So there's a period of about 4 months from the day, my last day in prison was the last time I weighed myself up until just 2 days ago. 3 days ago, I think. Well, something. I've got 3 entries in the weight tracking software. And so, these are all just random things I'm doing and trying to sort out, and just going through all those financial transactions alone and just try to keep track of everything that I spent while I was homeless for 4 months. You wouldn't think, oh, he's homeless. What does he have to spend money on? How many times did I have to go to Tim Hortons and get an iced coffee to sit and use the Wi-Fi all day? I know. I actually know exactly how much money I spent at Tim Hortons over 4 months, and it's kind of crazy. $5 here, $5 there, 3 times a week, times, $15, $20 a week, times a month, that's 80. 80 times 4 is, $320 on Tim Hortons, just to be able to sit and use Wi-Fi for 3 months. And so like I said, I was just flying by the seat of my pants when all of this was going on, and just holding on to the bar of the roller coaster, hoping that the ride would eventually stop. And I was not entering in every transaction, and I was not keeping meticulous, accurate records of what I was doing. But I kept all the receipts, generally speaking, and I had what I needed in order to sit down and do it over the last week, and be able to look back over the 4 months and say, wow, this is a very accurate picture of what you did over those 4 months across the board. But it took me 3 or 4 days of putting some solid hours in to go through all this stuff and make sense of it. And so these are the kinds of things I've been doing over the last week, 2 weeks since I've been in Texas. And it's not very exciting. It's not really worth talking about, but you know, I can certainly, there's certainly some things I could share with you guys about that, the tools that I use. And I made my own accounting software, more or less, using a tool called Notion. It's a note-taking application, but it also builds, you can also build some pretty robust databases with it. And I followed a tutorial on YouTube of a guy who made his own accounting system because he didn't like any of the accounting software that was out there. And I'm kind of in the same boat on accounting software. I think Microsoft Money and Quicken used to be really good apps back in the day. And nowadays, there's nothing out there that works like that and that is good. QuickBooks is a total mess. I don't like it. You know, there are other tools out there, but A, I didn't want to pay for them, and B, I really don't like any of them. And I'm not 100%, you know, using Notion the way I'm using it with this self-made accounting tool is... it's not the best thing I've ever done, but the nice thing about it is I can completely customize it to be exactly what I want it to be and to work exactly the way I want it to work and track things exactly the way I want to track them. And I've been using it since April, you know, with the 4 months where I just set it aside and didn't update it. But now that I have everything in there and updated, it's pretty amazing. I can run reports. I can, you know, now that I'm starting a business and I'm trying to run a small business and get that off the ground, this was something that I felt like I had to do that was important, because keeping good records and keeping track of your you know, being organized with that stuff is important when you run a business for numerous reasons, not just your taxes. So these are the things I've been working on. I could definitely show you guys how to make your own accounting software in Notion, and how to set it up for like personal accounting. And it would be completely free. I did everything that I did with the free version of Notion. They do have different monthly fees that you can pay, but to get something like that off the ground, it's pretty much unlimited use for free. The only thing that you're paying for when you start paying for it is more space to upload files and store files within it. And there's a file size limit to the free version. You can't upload a file to your notes that like an image or a PDF or a Microsoft Word document or whatever kind of file you want to attach to a note. You have a 5 megabyte limit on the free version. And their Notion now has the ability to generate charts from your databases that you build. And you can generate one chart with the free version, but if you want to start making more charts, you have to pay the monthly fee. It's like $12 a month or $100 for a year for the basic membership level. But that basic level is you would never need the higher tiers that you pay for are for big companies and teams with lots of people using it, not just you personally using it. So it's a great tool. For as far as note-taking apps, I think that they're all flawed right now. You have Evernote, Notion, NoteJoy. Those are Microsoft, OneNote. You can use Google Docs. You can use, Google has some of that stuff. There's an Apple Notes app out there, and there's a bunch more, and they're all flawed. I used to use Evernote quite a bit. It was my go-to, but that app has gone downhill over the last several years to the point where it's almost unusable now. And so I've been slowly migrating my content and notes from Evernote into other programs and just kind of getting rid of my Evernote account slowly over time. But each of these apps, including Evernote, has pros and cons. And, if you're interested in an assessment or any kind of if you're looking for a good way to keep track of your notes and your personal, just keeping track of your thoughts, your notes, your ideas, keeping them in a place where you can always have access to them. I can guarantee you I've used just about every note-taking app and whiteboard app that's out there. And I can tell you the pros and cons of all of those. And so now I'm at a half an hour and I'm gonna cut it off because this is just a rambling video of a bunch of random stuff. But I just wanted to give you all an update and say I'm not going anywhere. I've just been focused on doing a lot of boring things that are just, I'm bored out of my mind while I'm doing them. I don't want to do them, but they have to be done. And so that's where I've been over the last couple of weeks, just trying to set up a foundation, trying to get organized, trying to get things in place so that I can start doing the fun things that I want to do. And with that, I'm going to say peace out, and hopefully I'll get another video out within the next couple of days. But, you know, leave your comments below and just let me know what you want to hear about. And, you know, whatever questions you have or whatever direction you want to take the channel, you know, you're the super fans. If you watch this whole half an hour video, then you're a super fan. And, you know, let me know, because the customer is always right sometimes, right? Anyway, peace out.